Hi, my name is Steve Clifford from Spotsylvania County, Virginia. And today I really want to talk about suppressors, also known as silencers. That's what this is. And the reason I want to talk about it is that for some reason these got included with HB 961, which is the so-called assault weapons ban. Now, I would love to be able to change your mind about assault weapons and magazine capacity limits, but frankly, those are philosophical discussions, and I'm probably not going to change your philosophy, and you're not going to change mine. But I think we can have a discussion about suppressors, because unless you're being completely cynical, and if you really mean what you say about a desire for common sense, gun safety regulations, we might actually be able to agree on some things. So let's get into this. Let's start off with common sense. In Europe, it is actually easier to get a suppressor than it is the rifle that you put it on. In most countries anyway, that's the case. And that's because in Europe, they expect you to have a suppressor on. It is considered the polite thing to do. In Europe, most hunting is on farmland. And farmland means that there are houses, there are developments, there are businesses, villages, schools within close proximity to those farms, just like we have here in Virginia. Some countries are even more lenient, and they even have blister packs of these things sitting on the counter next to the cash register. Other countries, you just fill out your rifle application to purchase the rifle and you check yes or no. And again, you are expected to check yes. So common sense means that you're not going to disturb your neighbors. I don't want to disturb my neighbors with my shooting. So the second thing has to do with gun safety. Rifles make a lot of noise. When I shoot this rifle, if there's no suppressor on it, it's generating between 160 and 170 decibels of sound. OSHA says that anything above 140 decibels causes immediate and permanent hearing damage. Now, when I'm out shooting and just recreational shooting, of course I wear earplugs, headphones. I don't want to damage my hearing. But when I'm hunting, it's not practical. Hunters need to have all of their senses working for them. And I know if your only experience to deer means seeing them at a park or a golf course, you may not catch on to the fact that in the wild, these things are not easy. And after the shot, it is even more important to have your hearing because you need to be able to hear where that animal runs so that you can make an ethical recovery of it. This suppressor drops the sound levels down to between 130 and 140 decibels. Now that's not quiet. That's still fairly loud. A rock concert is about between 130 and 140 decibels, but it's over a very brief period of time, so it doesn't cause hearing damage. I want to save what hearing I have left. I've already damaged it badly enough, and I'm trying to preserve it. So to be a safer hunter, I have suppressors on my rifles. So we've got common sense, we've got gun safety. Let's talk about regulations. In order to buy this suppressor, I had to fill out an application with the BATF. I had to send off a copy of my fingerprints and 2 passport photos. I also had to notify the chief law enforcement officer in my area before I could get this stamp. This stamp here says that I am authorized to own this suppressor. This suppressor took me 11 months to get. This suppressor took me 9 months to get. And that stamp says that I can own a suppressor, but only me. I can't sell this, I can't transfer it, I can't give it to my kids in my will without them also going through the same process. It is very onerous and it's not cheap. So the common sense is there about not disturbing your neighbors and not harming other people while you're shooting. Gun safety is there because it helps preserve my hearing, and the regulations are already very, very onerous, so it already exists. I would urge you to consider that when you're passing these regulations, and please remove suppressors from HB 961. While you're at it, you might also want to consider the fact that in order to attach this safety device to a rifle, the barrel needs to be threaded. And you either directly thread it onto the barrel, or like this one, this is a modified flash suppressor. So the flash suppressor gets attached first, then the sound suppressor goes over top, and that is how you attach this safety device. So keep that in mind when you're working on these builds. Thank you very much for your time. I respectfully ask that you remove suppressors from HB 961.